Welcome to your deep dive into AI's impact on business. We know you're interested in getting up to speed on the practical side of designing and deploying AI solutions, and not just the hype.
Yeah, it's like having this toolbox full of all these incredible tools, but you don't have the instruction manual. We're here to give you that.
Exactly. So why should business leaders like yourself even care about AI? What's the big deal?
Well, imagine having a superpower that can analyze mountains of data in just seconds. Personalize customer experiences at scale, even predict those future trends. That's AI in a nutshell. And it's not just about automating tasks, it's about gaining that competitive edge.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's powerful, but it's not magic. The key is understanding how to build and deploy AI solutions that are tailored to your specific needs.
I bet our listeners thinking, okay, this sounds great, but where do I even start? I'm not a tech wizard.
Right. And that's where the concept of the AI lifecycle comes in. It breaks the process down into these manageable steps, a roadmap to AI success, if you will.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Let's break down this AI life cycle. Step one, what's the first landmark on this roadmap?
Well, before you even think about, algorithms or code or anything like that, you need to figure out what you want to achieve with AI. Think of it like planning a trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving, would you? First, you'd decide where you want to go and why.
So step one is all about setting a clear destination for our AI journey.
Exactly. We call this pain point analysis and strategic alignment. And it's about identifying the biggest challenges or inefficiencies in your business and ensuring that your AI initiative aligns with your long-term goals.
So let's say a business is struggling with high customer churn. Could that be a pain point for an AI solution?
Absolutely. AI could be used to analyze customer behavior patterns and then predict which customers are likely to churn. And this would allow the business to intervene proactively.
So instead of reacting to lost customers, you're using AI to predict and prevent churn.
Exactly. And by aligning this AI initiative with the strategic goal of increasing customer retention, you're ensuring that your efforts directly contribute to the overall success of the business.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But identifying the pain point is just the beginning, right? What's the next step in preparing for this AI journey?
Well, imagine you're trying to bake a cake, but you only have half the ingredients. It's not going to end well, is it?
Definitely not. You need all the right ingredients in the right amount.
Exactly. That's where data comes in. It's the fuel that powers your AI engine. And just like with baking, the quality of your ingredients determines the quality of the final product.
So step two is all about gathering and preparing the data that our AI will feast on.
You got it. We call this data acquisition and preparation. It involves collecting data from various sources, cleaning it to ensure accuracy and consistency, and then labeling it in a way that the AI can understand.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Where does this data even come from? Is it just internal company data?
Well, you can certainly start with internal data, like customer records, sales transactions, website analytics, anything that's already being collected. But don't limit yourself. There's a wealth of publicly available data out there, like government statistics, industry reports, even social media trends.
It sounds like there's a whole universe of data out there just waiting to be harnessed.
Yeah, and that's just the raw material. Think of data cleaning as like sifting through a mountain of raw ore to find those valuable nuggets of gold.
Okay, so data cleaning is all about refining that raw data into something usable.
Exactly. It involves removing errors, handling missing values, and standardizing formats. It's a meticulous process, but it's crucial for ensuring that your AI is learning from reliable and consistent data.
It's starting to make sense to me why they call data the new oil. It's this
Yeah.
valuable resource that needs to be carefully extracted and refined. But we're not done prepping yet, right? There's this thing called data labeling.
That's right. Think about teaching a child to recognize different animals. You wouldn't just show them random pictures, would you? You would point to a dog and say dog, or a cat and say cat.
So you're providing context and meaning to the information.
Exactly. Data labeling is similar. It's about adding tags or labels to the data to help the AI understand what it's looking at. For example, if you're building an AI to detect spam emails, you'd label a set of emails as spam and another set as not spam. This helps the AI learn to differentiate between the two.
So data labeling is like giving the AI a cheat sheet to help it make sense of the world.
That's a good way to think about it.
This data acquisition and preparation stage sounds pretty intense. It seems like a lot of work goes into getting the data ready for the AI.
Yeah, it's definitely a crucial stage that shouldn't be rushed. The quality of your data directly impacts the accuracy and reliability of your AI model. Think of it this way. If you try to build a house on a shaky foundation, the whole structure is at risk.
Garbage in, garbage out, as they say. But now that we've laid this solid data foundation, where do we go from here? What's the next step in our AI adventure?
Now comes the exciting part. We've gathered our ingredients, prepped them carefully, and now it's time to fire up the oven and start cooking.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What does cooking look like in the world of AI?
It's all about choosing the right AI model and training it to perform that specific task you have in mind.
All right, I think we're going to need to dive a little deeper into this model selection and training business.
It's like we've spent all this time, prepping those ingredients for our AI feast. And now we're finally ready to start cooking.
But I have to admit, I'm a bit lost when it comes to this whole AI model thing. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, think of AI models as these specialized tools in your AI toolbox. Each model is designed for a specific type of task, just like you wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, right?
Okay, I'm starting to see the analogy here. So what are some of the different types of AI models out there? How do we know which one's right for the job?
Well, let's say you want to create personalized marketing content that speaks directly to each customer's needs. For that, you might turn to LLMs, large language models, like the ones that power those chatbots you see everywhere.
Ah, so those chatbots aren't just randomly spitting out responses. There's an AI model behind the scenes, like crafting those conversations.
Exactly. LLMs are incredibly versatile. They can write different kinds of creative content, translate languages, answer your questions in an informative way. They can even generate different creative text formats like poems, codes, scripts, musical pieces, email, letters, etc. And they just try their best to fulfill all your requirements.
That's pretty impressive. What if I'm not dealing with text, but something more visual? Say, I need to create images for a new product line.
For that, you might want to explore the world of GANs, or generative adversarial networks. Think of them as digital artists. Feed them a set of images, and they can learn to generate entirely new images that share similar characteristics but are still unique.
So Jans are like the Picassos of the AI world, creating original masterpieces.
That's a great way to put it. They're already being used to design everything from, fashion to furniture, and even to create realistic special effects for movies.
This is blowing my mind. It seems like there's an AI model for just about anything.
Oh, there are tons of models out there, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Some are better at predicting future trends, others at identifying patterns in complex data, and some even excel at making real-time decisions.
So choosing the right model is a critical decision, and probably not something you want to do on your own.
You got it. It's best to work with experts who understand those nuances of different models, and they can guide you toward the one that best aligns with your needs and the data you have. It's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Makes sense. So we've selected our model. It's shiny and new, ready to be put to work. But how do we actually train it to do what we need it to do?
Well, remember that cooking analogy? We've got our ingredients prepped, the oven fired up. Now it's time to follow that recipe and start baking.
So the training process is like baking our AI cake.
Exactly. We feed our chosen model the data that we've so carefully prepared, and it uses this data to learn and improve its performance. It's like teaching a dog new tricks, but instead of treats, we're using data points.
So if we're training an LLM to write marketing copy, we'd feed it tons of examples of effective marketing copy, and it would learn to mimic those styles and techniques.
Exactly. The model analyzes the data, identifying patterns, relationships, and nuances that would take humans years to uncover. And the more data it processes, the better it gets at its assigned task.
So data is not only the foundation, but also the fuel for our AI engine.
Absolutely. And just like, you wouldn't put diesel in a gasoline engine, the quality and relevance of the data is crucial. Feeding your model irrelevant or inaccurate data is like trying to bake a cake with spoiled milk. It's not going to end well.
Yikes, I think I'd rather avoid a data-induced AI stomachache.
Ah,
So let's assume we've got our data in tip-top shape, and our model is happily munching away on all that delicious information. How do we know if it's actually learning and improving?
well, that's where model evaluation and validation comes in. It's like taking your cake out of the oven and doing a taste test to see if it's baked to perfection.
I am liking this cookie analogy more and more. So how do we taste test our AI model to see if it's ready to serve?
We use a variety of performance metrics like accuracy, precision, and recall. These help us understand how well the model is performing on the task it was trained for.
Okay, I remember you mentioning those terms earlier, but could you break them down for me in a way that, well, even I can understand?
Sure. Let's say our AI is tasked with screening job applicants to identify the best candidates. Accuracy measures how often the AI gets it right, correctly identifying those top performers. Precision focuses on how many of those flagged as top performers actually are. And recall ensures we're not overlooking any potential stars, catching as many of the truly great candidates as possible.
So you're looking for a balance of all three: accuracy, precision, and recall.
Ideally, yes, but sometimes there are trade-offs. For example, if we're super strict in only flagging the absolute best candidates, we might miss some hidden gems who have the potential to excel with a bit of training.
I'm starting to see the complexities here. It's not just about blindly aiming for the highest numbers across the board, but, understanding the nuances of each metric and how it applies to your specific goal.
Exactly. And it's not just about the numbers. We also need to consider the ethical implications of our AI's decisions.
Oh, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we'll be opening that can a bit later.
Absolutely. But for now, let's focus on ensuring our AI is making sound decisions.
Okay, so we've trained our model, evaluated its performance, and hopefully avoided any AI indigestion. What's the next step in this culinary AI journey?
Well, we've got our perfectly baked AI cake. Now it's time to serve it up to the world.
That sounds delicious. But in the context of AI, what does serving it up actually entail?
Think of it this way. You've spent all this time crafting this perfect recipe, baking and refining your AI cake. Now it's time to actually share it with the world.
So we're talking about model deployment and integration. Finally getting our AI creation out of the test kitchen and into the real world. But this sounds like a pretty complex step. Where do we even begin?
It's like choosing the right platter to showcase your culinary masterpiece.
Hmm.
You need to select the right deployment platform for your AI model.
Okay, so we need to find the perfect serving dish for our AI. What are some of our options here?
Well, there are two main paths you can take. You can opt for the cloud with platforms like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. These offer scalability and flexibility, kind of like having a catering service that can handle events of any size.
So if you need to scale up your AI operation quickly, the cloud is a good option.
Exactly. But if you're dealing with highly sensitive data and need maximum control over your AI environment, you might prefer an on-premises deployment. This is like setting up your own in-house bakery where you manage every detail.
Sounds like there are trade-offs to consider, just like with any business decision.
Absolutely. The key is to assess your specific needs and resources to determine the best fit. But choosing the right platform is just the first step. We also need to make sure our AI can, seamlessly interact with our existing business systems.
It's like ensuring that your cake complements the rest of the meal. So how do we integrate our AI model into the complex ecosystem of our business operations?
Think of APIs or application programming interfaces as those bridges that allow different systems to communicate with each other. We can use APIs to connect our AI model to our CRM, our marketing automation platform, or even our website.
So the API acts as a translator, helping our AI share its insights and recommendations with other parts of the business.
Exactly. It's like ensuring all the flavors blend harmoniously. But the integration process doesn't end there. We also need to create these user-friendly dashboards and visualizations to help non-technical teams understand and act on the AI's outputs.
It's like providing the recipe card alongside the cake, so people can understand the ingredients and appreciate the craftsmanship involved.
That's a great way to put it. And just like any complex system, ongoing maintenance is essential. We need to monitor our AI's performance over time, retrain it with new data, and make adjustments as needed.
So it's like making sure the oven stays calibrated and the ingredients stay fresh so the cake consistently comes out perfect.
Exactly. And remember, the world's constantly changing. New data is being generated every second. Customer preferences are evolving and business needs are shifting. Our AI needs to be able to adapt to these changes.
It sounds like deploying and integrating an AI model is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of refinement and adaptation.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination. But with careful planning, the right tools, and a commitment to continuous improvement, your AI can become a powerful engine for growth and innovation in your business.
This has been an incredibly insightful journey through the AI lifecycle. I feel like I've gone from feeling completely lost to having a solid grasp of the steps involved. But I know there's always more to learn. What advice would you give to a listener who's eager to start exploring the power of AI in their own business?
Well, the most important thing is to just get started. Don't let that fear of the unknown hold you back. AI is a powerful tool that can transform your business, if you embrace it.
So instead of trying to become an AI expert overnight, just take that first step and start experimenting.
Exactly. There are tons of resources available to help you along the way, from online tutorials to consulting firms that specialize in AI implementation. And remember, you don't have to do it all alone. Partner with experts who can guide you through the process and help you avoid those common pitfalls.
This has been a truly enlightening deep dive into the world of AI for business. I'm sure our listener is feeling much more confident about navigating this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape.
I hope so. Remember, AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's here, it's now, and it's ready to revolutionize the way we do business. So what are you waiting for? The future is calling.
And on that inspiring note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the practicalities of designing and deploying AI solutions. I hope you found it as valuable as I did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.